All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Coach and Company podcast. We are here to support the morning show most weekdays. If you guys missed any of the show this morning, I encourage you to go back and watch like the last 56 minutes or so. I would say it's really, really good. We are live on Stadium, a ton of best bets today, but also we never really talk betting here. This is more 2 or 3 topics in the world of sports that we think are important, and they're a lot of fun because a lot of you out there love to talk sports too. Also, if you love wrestling, we have 2 different wrestling shows in our universe, 2 to 4 Eastern time on channel 156, Off the Ropes with your boy, the Coach. I'm there every single day. And then the Coach and Bro Show. You guys have found us. The numbers are astounding over on our Behind the Turnbuckle BTT YouTube page. You can catch all of our content on demand, including yesterday's episode. Mondays and Thursdays, we are live. All right, housekeeping done. Let's bring in my guy, Mikey P., who joins me on most days as well. Mikey, we got to start with the last game in Week 15. We're down to 3 games left for everybody. And the Pittsburgh Steelers went out last night, 7-3 at halftime. They scored 14 to really put the game out of reach in the third quarter. They win 28-15, and they stay 1 game ahead of the Ravens in first in the AFC North. First and foremost, how impressed are you with the fact that the Steelers continue to stay relevant playoff-wise when it looks like at every turn they could fall off the cliff?
I've never seen it's like an on and off again relationship, right? Like, oh, we're breaking up this week. No, I moved back in. We're fine. We talked it out. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers remind me of. Everyone wants Mike Tomlin gone, and then they beat a 6-7 Miami Dolphins team, and everyone's happy again. So I really would. I wasn't even going for that, but I mean, it's just one of those things where it's fun to see because the Ravens are there as well in the AFC North. I don't believe in either team. I think whoever makes it into the playoffs out of the North will be one and done. But at least I'll tip my cap to Aaron Rodgers. He's not just kind of going through the motions in his final season, if this is his final season, and he's actually playing competitive football, which is it's good for the NFL.
Right now, the way the standings look, there's going to be some very unlucky team that's going to get the Buffalo Bills in Wild Card Weekend. Right now, the winner of the AFC North would play the Chargers because they would be the 3. Chargers would be the 4. Buffalo right now is the 5, and Houston is the 6, or you know what I mean, 5, 6, 7. I always get confused with the 4. There's 4 automatic bids, division winners, then you got 3 wild cards. So essentially, 4 would play 5. I don't even know how I feel right now because as much as I get annoyed by Aaron Rodgers, then he has moments in the game where he does that little flip thing, and I'm like, this is why he's a Hall of Famer. This is why he's one of the all-time greats. This is why the game moves slow for him. And it's so annoying to watch, but you got to give flowers where flowers are due because on the other side, you got a Tua, a team that had won multiple games in a row. And last night he was throwing awful picks, had all the stats about interceptions when he's like moving around. I'm like, this dude doesn't get any better, and he doesn't see the field. And that was apparent last night. They never could get anything going until the final quarter.
This is why it's very important to watch game film and not just look at box scores and stat sheets, Coach. Because if you look at it, I believe 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 4 times. That's going to happen with that shaky offensive line. But that 1 interception, the 14th thrown by Tua against zone coverage this season. This comes down to football IQ, and it all comes back to Mike McDaniels. What are you working on with Tua during practice? Are you watching film? Are you having him come into the office? Now, this might be a little funny, Coach, but last year, Hard Knocks revealed Matt Eberflus and Caleb Williams sitting down to watch game film. Neither of them knew how to do it. So I wonder if that's the same thing in Miami because I don't know how you continuously get got by zone defense in the NFL.
Well, speaking of get got, I don't know if it's because they have a tendency to do this when they're relevant. And what I mean by that is they posted, Oz the Mentalist, who I just think is not human. They posted yesterday his meeting with the Dolphins. Now, it could have happened back in August. I don't know. They never put the timestamp on it. But it was this most amazing thing. Did you see the video?
I did not
see it. So basically, because Tyreek Hill was in the room, And the whole thing was based off of his name. So I was like, this can't be live. Why would Tyreek even be around the team right now? If you tell your, but basically what he did was he had a football and he had to throw it to Cheetaah, 7 guys. So all 7 guys, what did their first names start with? And it was Cheetah. And the guys were just throwing the ball around. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. This guy, I don't think he's human. I really don't. I really don't. With that being said, if that's what they're doing on the week of a game, that's a problem. That's a problem if you're bringing Oz the Mentalist in December. So I don't think it was this month. But my point is, at some point, they've got to figure out, just like they do in Detroit, just like they need to do in Pittsburgh, when there's a lot of noise going on, is that noise real? Is that noise real, or are you watching social media? Are you reading social media? Because, Mikey, a lot of coaches, hell, I've had a lot of bosses that go, wow, they don't like this, when I'm like, no, 99% of the people really, really do. Do you think the Mike Tomlin stuff is just noise, or do you really believe that they need to have a different voice to stop being the team and the coach where they say he's never finished below 500? Yeah, but when was the last real run in the playoffs? Well, it's 2006. 20 years. That's, I think, where we're at right now with the Steelers. What about you?
That's the 3 layers of professional sports when it comes to talking points. You have social media, which I don't believe is the overwhelming public opinion. Then you have former players who play the game who feel entitled to share their opinion. And then you have the franchise opinion, the people who sign the checks and make the decisions. Those are the ones that matter most. And the reason I mention that side is because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you say or what I say or what a former player says. If a franchise or a person is stuck in their ways, looking at you, Jerry Jones, looking directly at you, and you don't want to make any changes to your roster, to your coaching staff, that's how it's always been done. That's how it's always going to continue to be done. And I think that's why Mike Tomlin stayed.
You are watching the Coach and Company podcast, Mikey P and the Coach. It's astounding to me how certain people who've never had success, they will pinpoint and pick out certain things like the never finish below 500 narrative. When what you really should be looking at is, if we're an OG, if we're a franchise that is like the Cowboys, that is like the Packers, that people really are invested in nationwide, then your expectations have got to be more. You can't, to me, I don't know why you'd want to be the narrative. This would be your narrative. Pittsburgh's like, wow, we only had 3 coaches in the last 60 or 70 years. All right. How many titles in that time period? Or how many runs during that time period? Because it's one thing, Mikey, to win your division at 9-8. It's another thing to be a legitimate playoff contender. And if in 20 years you haven't done anything, then yeah, I think it's very valid that they could be looking at a different coach. It's going to be interesting. Topic number 2, and this one, it's heartwarming, and I don't think, Mikey, that ever in his career you heard Philip Rivers and heartwarming in the same sentence, but we are right now, right? So the Colts have announced that he will get a second start against San Francisco this week, and why this is so important is right now they're only 1 game back. They started 7-1, but they've been on a horrible losing streak. They're now 1 game back of Houston. If they can stay there or even tie them, they have Houston in Houston week 18. So, are you surprised that Philip Rivers, who nearly beat Seattle, got a second run this week against San Francisco?
Not surprised, coach, because Sunday as I watched that game, I had an epiphany and I had a come to Jesus moment about Philip Rivers. Number one, when
Okay.
I'm 44, I don't want some 33-year-old from Southwest Missouri telling me that I can't do my job correctly anymore. And Philip Rivers shut me up. And then there's the other side of it, the football side of things. As much as I want to see an Anthony Richardson or a Riley Leonard get their deserved opportunity as young quarterbacks with this team, let's not forget the underlining thing to this Colts season. They traded their first round pick to the New York Jets for Sauce Gardner, who has not played. So if you turn the keys over to a young quarterback who may not get it figured out in time, there goes your draft pick higher and higher back to the New York Jets. You can't rebuild. Philip Rivers, he may give you a fighting chance. So for that reason and that reason alone, I like giving him another start.
Okay. I while you were talking, I was briefly looking at Houston's schedule. Vegas at the Chargers, and Indianapolis. The next best thing for a team like the Colts is to have the team you're fighting have some outside of the division games that matter. Playing the Chargers matters because right now the Chargers are the number one wild card team and Houston's the number 3. So that's great for the Colts, but they've got to go out and win these games. They can't continue to slide like they've been sliding all the way down. I mean, 7-1, and now you've gone 1-5 in your last 6. This is also a team you want to play in the playoffs, right? If you're looking at one of the, you're like, man, give me the Colts, give me the Colts, give me the Colts. Topic number 3. And this has been the most fascinating, probably 4 or 5 years of any player that's ever played college football. And I'm talking about Arch Manning. He has a family that now is probably more famous than they were when they actually played football. They're in every single commercial. Remarkably, God bless them, tip of the cap. Hey, Omaha, call me. Now, he's going back to Texas for 2026. He's making more in NIL money than the first pick of the draft in the NFL makes because of the way they have the salary structured. Now that he's going to go back, do you think we're going to finally see that switch where he doesn't go from just some good games, but to dominant Heisman Trophy winning performances for an entire season?
I think he's going to have to. And I'll say it right now on December 16th. I want to see it. And it's not, I want to see it because I want Arch Manning and the Mannings to be in every commercial moving forward for the next 35 years. I want to see a guy who came in with Heisman hype all around him. And then after the first week of the college football season, we were going, is he ever going to figure it out? And then we said it again. And at the end of the year, we're like, wait, he's got some momentum. So this is the absolute smart play for Arch Manning. This is how you truly invest in yourself as a college football player. And I think Arch Manning is going to be not the overwhelming favorite for the Heisman, but he should be for the number 1 pick in 2027.
Well, he was the betting favorite, member before this season. So if he was the favorite before this season, why wouldn't he be the favorite next season? He just came out of the gates and didn't play very well against Ohio State and dropped right off a cliff. So I know there's a lot of sports books out there that are ecstatic. They're like, yeah, we'll take that future money and not have to give it back to you. We'll give it to Mendoza bettors, which there were probably this many of before the season started. Now, when you're talking about Arch Manning, I want him to do well. I like stories like this. And I can't even imagine the overwhelming pressure this kid has felt day in and day out. Money for them is no issue. And I think a lot of us, Mikey, don't understand what it's like to go through life where money's not the issue, where greatness is the issue. Living up to expectations is the issue. Having super famous uncles who won Super Bowls is the pressure. And I try to look at it from that lens because every time he runs onto the field, I got to believe that he's like, man, they're looking at me like I'm Peyton. They're looking at me like I'm Eli. They're looking at me like I should win a Super Bowl before I'm 22 years old. And that's got to be a really hard thing to deal with. But so many people, especially on shows that I do, wrestling, they just look at the money. They think money solves everything. And I'm here to tell you it does not. I've worked for billionaires. It does not solve everything. And I think right now he's starting to feel that. And fans don't understand the pressure they're putting on him because of that. They just think, oh, he's making money. He's lucky. It's not that simple.
It's not that simple. I believe Arch Manning's life value and currency is that self-confidence, is that family name, and it is living up to expectations that have been set by those who came before you. Peyton and Eli don't have success at the next level. That Manning last name means nothing. And he's just another high-paid college athlete who could be something in the NFL. So for Arch Manning, it's definitely never, to me, been about the money when I look at him. You have to live up to Uncle Eli and Uncle Peyton. And if it's not in the public eye, it's their expectations. They didn't always have everything just given to them throughout. That's why Peyton Manning has 2 Super Bowls. Like, it wasn't easy for them most of their careers. If you look at how long they played in the league, they didn't always win. So Arch Manning's got a lot of life value in his football career, and I think that's what matters most to him.
He seems like a different dude. He seems like a different cat because I think a lot of guys, like if it was Shadir, we saw how Mr. Sanders handled the NIL money and buying $300,000 vehicles, and his thing was doing this, and Arch doesn't do that. And I think It's just a different in philosophy from parents that Dion is all flash, and that's how they make their money, and that's okay. Now we find out that Colorado's $50 million in debt because of NIL money they promised, and they thought it was going to come in, but now what happens? How quickly, Mikey, do these NIL collectives fall off? Because that's becoming a real issue now. Texas, no, because Texas has the most loyal alumni and donors in America. But Colorado is a great case study, and they offer Dion over $10 million a year. But they were banking, Mikey, on future earnings. They were banking on still having the celebrities going to Boulder. Have we seen any celebrities at any games this year for Colorado? No, we haven't. And I'm telling you right now, these we can see UCLA with Troy Aikman. I'm not giving any more money. I didn't get a thank you. I feel like we're on the brink, Mikey, where they're really some smart people are going to sit down and say, let's put something together. It will go through Congress like that to have some type of system where colleges don't go $50 million in debt promising NIL money.
We can't have it. It's going to ruin the entertainment value of college football. It is going to ruin where these players are going. It's for me, it's embarrassing that on December 15th, I was seeing more alerts about players entering the transfer portal than getting ready for next season. Just stop. Chase the bag, as the kids like to say, when you earn an opportunity to get to the next level. Where's the sense of self-respect and self-pride for these college football players? And that's what NIL has taken away from this. All those donors that you mentioned, Coach, you know what they have? They have self-pride because they had to earn their keep at the University of Texas or at UCLA. So they had an opportunity to give back. What are these players going to say 20 years from now? Yeah, I went to college. I played football at Florida, Miami, Ole Miss. It's just embarrassing for me. So there definitely needs to be a system in place so that these colleges don't have their reputations ruined.
I think it's as simple as if you take a bag, it's the equivalent of an NFL contract, meaning if it's all of them are going to be 4-year deals. All right. So when you come in, it's a 4-year deal. If you choose to take the money, and for a lot of these quarterbacks, it's millions of dollars. You choose to take the money, you are now under contract to Tennessee, to Florida, like Lagway. When you look at it, what other reason outside of money, Mikey, would he have to enter the transfer portal? He's been a starter for 2 years. He's playing in the SEC. He's playing at a university that has won national championships. Tim Tebow put them on the map. And you're transferring for what reason? You've got a player's coach coming in, a great situation. Other than a new check, what is there? Nothing. So to me, if you make those two changes, it's going to change a lot because you should not be able to bounce around. Are you kidding me? The old days, Mikey, remember they would have, if you transferred, you had to sit out for a full season. I don't think we need to go that crazy, but two changes. You take a bag, it's a contract. If you want to transfer, then you have to pay that money back. Oh, you don't have it? You stay. But now we know you're not happy, so you're going to be on the bench. See how that would fix things pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And the Lagway example is a great example. Why would you leave? You should be so fired up to say, man, we knocked off Texas when they were a top-ranked team, and now we have a new coach, a guy who had so much success at a smaller school. I'm staying. Let's continue this turnaround. I want to be a part of this program. Now I'm going to just go chase a bag. Marcel Reed, also in the SEC, a guy who was a top with Texas A&M most of the season, was asked by Robert Griffin. He said, if another school came to you and said $7 million, I know how much Texas A&M has done for you and your family and your career. What would you say? He goes, well, I'd have to talk to my parents.
No, that's not the answer. I heard somebody last night on ESPN radio say, I can't remember the name of the quarterback, but I bristled when they said this. They said, yeah, this quarterback is going to go into the transfer portal. And he could either get a big bag from another school, or he could go back to the school that is that what the transfer portal has turned into? We need to hold our school hostage, and you don't want to pay me more? Cool with that. I'll go into the portal. Now you got to come get me again. That's what they were talking about, Mikey. And I was like, what are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? All right, that's going to do it for today. Remember, we're here every just 20 or 30 minutes every single day. Turn on your notifications. Just make us a part of your day. Just, you're making breakfast or you're just getting your day started. Just hear these two little voices in the back. You don't even have to watch. You can also listen on Believe on our podcast, audio only, wherever podcasts are found. We'll be back tomorrow. It's going to be a busy day Wednesday. It's Rant Wednesday on the morning show, 10 a.m. Eastern time on Stadium. I'll see you guys later today at 2 o'clock Eastern time on Channel 156 Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. In the meantime, for Mikey P, for Producer Man, I am the coach. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the Coach and Company podcast.